template, prompt use. So if you look at most of the times, every day we do set of tasks. Set of tasks could be uploading a content in the LinkedIn. Set of tasks could be reviewing the Facebook or conducting the interviews, doing the analysis, suggesting a tool, or it could be suggesting a stock. So these are all the set of tasks you do every day. So when you are doing a set of tasks every day, you can actually use a template, the prompt template. Even for coding purpose, you can write a prompt template and you can reuse it. So prompt engineering toolkit. So definitely you should have Google accounts, YouTube accounts, so that for a content writers, and Canva account and Jana account for images creation, and screen recording tool for demos. So this is very specific for the content creators and content writers. Very important. This is what we have discussed. In prompt, we have something called zero shot, one shot, and few shot. Tell about Agarwal. Is a zero shot. So, are you talking about Rakesh Agarwal or Radha Agarwal? You don't know. So, the zero shot will never give a right answer. And one shot. Tell about Rakesh Agarwal of Oyo. You will get the right answer. Tell about Rakesh Agarwal of Oyo before launching the Oyo and after launching the Oyo, and what is the kind of business he is doing, and what is the key takeaway for me? Is there any key takeaway for me? So this is how the prompt engineering works. This is how the one shot, zero shot, few shots works. Perfect. So can AI get virus? Definitely, it cannot be like your regular Trojan virus kind of type, but the people whoever is using chatbots, people whoever is using ChatGPTs, if they start feeding the wrong data, so it will be misleaded. The ChatGPTs and Claudes will be misleaded in a wrong direction, but the virus will not be attacked. We cannot call it as a virus. So, but you will have a prompt injection, hidden instructions, you will keep getting a wrong answers. Debugging prompt like a pro. So what is debugging in prompt engineering? Whenever you write a code, you run the code to understand are there any challenges. That's what we call it as a debugging. So what is debugging in prompt engineering? You wanted a certain answer. The certain answer is Sachin Tendulkar has hit a century against the Australia during the World Cup in 2004. That is the answer you want. You should start writing the prompt and then debug the prompt, improve the prompt till you get the right answer. Prompting mistakes to avoid. So this is what we ask, right? You should not ask incomplete questions. If you say, help me to do stuff, what stuff? Okay. Ask multiple questions at a time. Can you tell what Sachin Tendulkar is doing when Ganguly is bowling? So the context is missed. AI cannot understand that context. You should be asking one prompt at a time and then setting the context at a time. Prompt versus completion. The responses are called completions because once you start building the large language models, it talks about I am taking so many tokens for the completions. Here, completions means the responses of ChatGPT. From average to awesome, weak to strong. If you want to add a strong response, you should say, hey, I am responding to the CEO of the company. Make sure the prompt is in a soft tone and make sure the response is in 200 words with a lot of respect. So that's how you tone it. And if you are responding back to your classmate, your answer is different. Hey bro, how are you doing? What did you do last night? Oh, is it really awesome? So you have to make the and ChatGPTs to understand with whom you are interacting, how you are interacting, what is the role, what is the tone. That's what it says, the role, format and tone. Okay, so we want to, most of you might have used the prompts. but you can try after the sessions. If you want to get a profile that matches to the Infosys job, you just give the Infosys skill over there and say prepare a profile matching to that. You get it on the spot. Okay, how to earn as a prompt engineer? This itself I am working on 100 ways. 100 ways to earn as a prompt engineer. If you look at the journalists go across the market and brings the news and they sell news. There are organizations who sell news. So a prompt engineer can write a prompt, hey, get the latest news and post it in my YouTube, Twitter, Facebook and all. It's a one prompt and one agent which will pull the latest news and push it to all these platforms. That guy, by luck, if the content goes viral, he can monetize the data. Now, I spoke about very generic. Think of a KPMG. What a KPMG does, KPMG says, should we use AI or not? Or what is this Booster Consulting, top 4 consulting companies? Their job is to tell what to do, when, where and who. So now all those things you can do. You can act like a personal assistant to the Chief Minister of India. You can act as a Chief Guidance Officer to the Finance Minister without knowing anything. But you all that you should know is how to prompt. So hundreds of roles. Today you don't really need to go deep about the what and how, but start at asking, hey, I want to become a Chief Technology Officer, or I want to become a great lyricist. You can actually start writing the lyrics by explaining what you want. So there are 100 ways to earn money using ChatGPT, Claude, Prompt, Suno. There are 100 plus platforms. As we go deep, we also discuss about that. So you can also act as a freelancer on these platforms, Fiverr, Upwork and Freelancer. Tell that I can create prompts because there will be a lot of people who don't have time even to create a prompt. Okay? So think of a cricketer. He has to focus on the game, but the team around him actually gives a commentary, gives the photos of the commentator for the player, and then they can earn money. So you can join as a freelancer on these platforms and tell to the cricketer, I'll be a prompt engineer and I'll create a data for you. Let's monetize together. So we discussed about the templates and packs. So you can actually write a set of prompts that works well on Monday and set of prompts that works very well on Saturday. So your prompts, your prompt engineering, your prompt pack for a designer, for a software engineer, for a politician, for a cricketer, everything changes. So you should decide the role, the template, and then keep them ready. You keep generating the prompts. And you can become a mentor. So think of a person who is very unstable and who actually wants mentoring. You don't need to know the subject, but if you can handle that person and use the prompt and teach the prompts, you can become a professor of prompts, you can become a mentor of prompts. Build your prompt portfolio. So why I am talking prompt is technology will change, tool will change, ChatGPT will change, the Claude will change, there could be a new product coming up. But on any product, as a software engineer, you are supposed to write a code in the olden days. Now, you are supposed to write a prompt to get the code. So, the prompt engineering is very important. That's why I am spending more time on the prompt engineering. I have shown you the tools, how to ask the prompt and how to get the code, how to get the images and how to get the videos. Now, keep your prompt templates ready and portfolio ready. So, what do you take the example of movie industry? In the movie industry, there are 24 crafts: the stunt master, the lyricist, the singer, and the beautician, the backdrop manager. So, what is your portfolio as a prompt engineer? You can define a portfolio. So, you can say, I want to become an adventure photographer. So that's our portfolio. So when you want to become an adventure photographer, you have to literally go into the forest and take the photos of the birds. But here it's not required. You will write a prompt. Hey, think I'm in a deep forest where there are few birds and I am taking a photo of one bird when it is laying an egg. So that's the kind of prompt you can give, and that's your prompt portfolio. So think of, if you look at our own Oxy loans, we are giving loans to women, we are giving loans to student deals. So you can talk about women loans as a portfolio, and you can start creating various women on the prompt, and then they talk for you, they work for you. So now, with this basic understanding, you are actually ready to become a prompt engineer, and you are ready to accept any tool. We have shown the tool in the starting, we have shown the tool in the middle. Tools you can also access. They are very friendly. I can write a prompt and then bring you the image. I can write a prompt and bring you the video and all, which we have seen in the starting itself. With this, I want to say you are ready as a prompt engineer. You are ready as a LLM engineer, because AI and Gen AI is writing about LLMs. It could be a large language model, small language model, medium language model. It depends upon how many tokens you are creating and how many tokens you are working on. Okay, so jobs you can do as a prompt engineer: AI, content strategist, chatbot experience designer, product tester. So as a testing professional, you can use the ChatGPT very well. You give the use case, user enters ID and password, system displays a dashboard, right? So now you tell this to the ChatGPT, it will give positive test cases, negative test cases, abnormal test cases, everything, right? So research intern. So if you want to research what's next in AI, you can ask the prompt, what's next in AI, it will help you out. So you can design prompt services, this is what we have discussed. From prompting to consulting. So many people want to know how do you consult a doctor and what to talk. So recently we have seen a article talking about chronic disease. Last 15 years they are visiting a doctor is giving a medicine, but that's not solved. So finally the couple fed up and then they asked the ChatGPT, it has set some procedure and the problem was solved. So you don't need to be a doctor to do the prompt engineering. You need to understand the problem of the patient. You need to be able to define the problem of the patient to the prompt engineer well, and then get the answers. Let the doctor validate. So a lot of times, doctor will come back and say it's a miracle, right? So for the doctors to do miracle, prompt engineers are required, and you can become a consultant to the doctor. Instructional prompts. So if you look at a coffee machine, the moment you click on the cappuccino, it actually takes the milk, coffee, and then sugar, and it prepares. That means the instructions are written on the motherboard of the coffee machine. Similarly, in the AI, if you give the instructions, do this first, do this next, it will actually follow that. Exploratory prompts, sometimes even I do that. So exploratory prompts is you don't have any objective, hey, what's new today? How can I do something different today? What makes more lucrative today? What gives more lucrative money? So it's exploratory, right? Exploratory testing we do, exploratory coding we do. Even housewife does exploratory dishes in the kitchen. So bring up the new combination, you get the answer, right? So exploratory prompts are very important. Chain of thoughts we have discussed, few short prompts we have discussed, zero shot we have discussed, role based we have discussed, agent style also we have discussed, set of instructions, set of assistants will become an agent. Meta prompts are prompts that improve the actual prompt. So it's like your metadata. hoc prompting, we have seen exploratory prompting. Exploratory prompting is without any intention you are asking the questions. Similarly, ad hoc is unstructured. So, in a starting of the session, we have seen a structure. Hey, tell about Sachin Tendulkar in test matches in India against Australia. That's a structured approach of writing the prompt. So, what is unstructured? There is no logic. Can you tell me something crazy today that can actually yield good earning? So, if you are talking about earning is the objective, but you really don't know what you are asking. Structured prompting we have discussed. Evaluated prompting, compare different versions. This is what even I do. I give a prompt to the ChatGPT, I give a prompt to the GitHub Copilot, I give a prompt to the Claude and compare them. What are the answers? Are they using the same framework? Are they using the same structures? In fact, sometimes I ask the ChatGPT, can you tell me what framework you are using? Can I replicate you? So optimized prompting. So what we have done is, if you look at CMM level 5, so you have set of tasks in level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 and level 5. So optimized prompting is, how do you get a right answer on a first prompt? Okay. Agentic prompting. Agentic prompting means you are not writing prompts, you are not setting up the goals. Goals are predefined. In a month 1 you have set, by 15th we have to achieve so and so. So there are agentic prompts. So agents are set, the prompts are set, they work on their own. That's called autonomous. That's what we are talking about, autonomous cars. So with that, I am stopping the session and you to take the questions. So the objective is, how can we bring AI in front of the millions of users? What we have seen is a completely theory. As we go into the more sessions, I will actually help you out in building the LLMs itself. You can actually build the LLMs along with us. You can write the wrappers along with us. I'll show them once again. When we started the session, I have showed that. I will show them once again. Back to the actual prompts, initial prompts, and then how we have built the wrapper. So this is where we have started. Let me take up a new route now. I want to build LLM for banking and financial services. How many tokens we should push into DB? Okay, and response should not exceed 20 words. Right? So many times we see. Okay, so let me share this screen back. I am actually doing a screen share. Check. Can you see my screen? Okay. So on a Google Meet, you are able to see the screen, but okay, the people in the session also are able to see the screen. So what we are trying to do, we are back to prompts. Okay, and we have seen structured prompts, unstructured prompts, domain prompts. Okay, now I am talking about banking and financial services. In banking, RBI declares the rules. Can you build a rule engine? Can you build a rule engine based on the RBI P2P lending framework. Okay. Response in 10 bullet points. See how I am working with it. So now I am expecting a response in bullet points so that I can actually target. So it is saying collect and digitize RBI guidelines, define rule templates, create rule repository, design rule engine core, API driven checks, dynamic rule updates. So after this I said, look, you are my CTO. You should be able to pull the data and build the code and go live. Can you do it? So, I use that Telugu samata, అడిగందే అమ్మాయినా పెడతారు. ChatGPT కూడా you ask what exactly you want, it will give you. So now I said you are the CTO, can you do that? Yes, data collection, structuring, now it is talking, I can do it. Okay, so can you pull the white paper for RBI guidelines for P2P latest? That means I should know what to ask. Okay, so it is saying the full white paper is so and so location. So as a CTO, your role is take the white paper, understand terms and build the code. I am giving the rule book here. So actually now I am reading the P2P guidelines. So this is what we are trying to achieve. White paper to white label platform. RBI says we are launching a new product called gold loans. Make a gold loan, there is something called gold loans. Anybody gives GAM, they will get a loan. For example, they have launched a white paper. So the white paper talks about the rules. If I give the rules to my CTO, he will actually build the code, he will actually deploy the code, and he can give the live URLs. Okay, so let me see. What are your thoughts? So it is actually going through the PDF, okay, which is having the P2P guidelines. So we all know the P2P guidelines because most of our team members are auxiliaries, investors, lenders and all. So it is saying the core understanding is so and so, lender exposure less than 50 lakhs, borrower aggregate less than 10 lakhs. Okay, perfect. Can you build the mock UI? How many screens you want to build? So there are situations in 3 days I was able to build end-to-end platforms, but you should also have an engineer who can deploy those code and then get the things done moving. But now there are new agents from the ChatGPT. You do the code, it will actually deploy in the ChatGPT server. You don't need even AWS. You will wonder tomorrow if I say ChatGPT will kill the AWS, that may also happen. Because I am generating the code on ChatGPT and deploying the code on AWS. Now what if the ChatGPT itself is giving a server? Why should I go to AWS? So landscape is changing rapidly. Landscape is changing rapidly And even the following is also finding it tough. So do you want me to generate a React based dashboard? Yes. So a thought, an idea, you explain the idea, you generate the mockups, you generate the code, and then say push it to the ChatGPT cloud, give me the URL, the job is over. Right? So most of you know Google sites, right? You can launch a Google site in a minute, right? So similarly, now you can launch a production commercial platform in hours. The complete code has come. So now all that you should have is you should have a person to run them and then push it into the GitHub. So even GitHub is not required. If once see the tools here, I have a tool squad, deep research, create image, web search and canvas. ChatGPT is adding agents. It will add an agent called, push the code into the server. Then it will actually goes into the server and I'll get a production level URL link. Can you create image for the mockup? So we looked at why prompt engineering is important because tools keep changing. The prompt, structured prompt, unstructured prompt, chain of thoughts prompt, zero shot prompt, few shots prompt. So how we learn writing if else condition, how we learn the for loop, how we learn the while loop, how we learn the databases normalization. Now we have to learn the prompts to do all those things. Okay, so the image is getting generated. If you want to ask any questions, you can ask. Morning we have also seen how the video got generated for the machine learning AI coders with a simple prompt. So while the image is getting generated, I want to tell you this is Genoxy, our own AI platform, Gen AI platform built on ChatGPT Wrapper using the APIs. These are my API keys. This is how we have built the Genoxy. We have taken some time. Now we are training it on the banking and financial services, especially for the loans, because we are at a peer-to-peer lending loans. Along with the peer-to-peer lending loans, we also want to do the other loans now. So all that is going to be taken care by our Genoxy. So this is technically very confidential. No developer wants to show this because by showing this, I am making your life easy. You can also start building it tomorrow. So the image is still under creation. You have seen all those images are created using ChatGPT itself. So does that mean the designer job is taken over? Definitely, if there are 4 designers in the office, you really don't need 4 designers now. You need only one, but who is good enough to play around with the images. So here we have seen this is the header and the router. It's in React. Okay. Now we are going to see the markup for this code. That's the markup. That's the dashboard. Right? So think of just a year back, visualizing all these things was taking months. There was no visualization capacity to the people. Now with the one prompt I am able to visualize, and if I sit a full day, completely visualization completes and then I can go live. Okay, there will be limitations in going live because it has to be production level, couple of testing rounds has to happen. Now even your agents can do the testing. You don't need manual test engineers. Okay, so with that I want to open for the questions. work on the LLMs, they work on the GenAI, they will work on our banking and financial services. So we are looking at creating jobs LLM, loans LLM, CTO LLM, Codex LLM, which means you think of a plumber. Our agent cannot do the plumbing work, but our agent can tell you who is a good plumber, and our agent can tell you what are the good tools for a plumber and where do you get at a cheaper cost. So every human work, every human role, we are converting into the LLMs. It's not necessary to be LLM. It's not necessary to be a large language model. We can do a small language model also with 2 to 10 millions of tokens. So we have last 6 minutes. If anybody wants to ask any questions who are on Google Meet, you can ask and live, and then we can take up the questions in the classroom one-on-one. So if you have no questions, we can end up the Google Meet. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Any questions from the people on Google Meet? That's it. Thank you. We can drop the questions to the WhatsApp groups that we have created, and you can actually go on to askfoxy.ai and then you can write to us. Thank you all.